So any kind of building permit or remodel, the contractor is gonna have to provide the information and the trained contractors to do the lead safety before they even start, which, as you can see from that picture, is suits. They've got to cordon everything off. They've got to let the homeowner know what they're doing before they even start. So, based on that, I'm looking for help. Another one of those unfunded mandates.
Excuse me, if I may just,
Yes.
do you mean if somebody wants to change a bathroom and gets a building permit, they're gonna have to do this to the
They're
whole
gonna have to
house?
go in and prove that there's no lead there, or they're gonna have to notify the homeowner of the project. They're gonna have to go in and cordon it off if they don't know if there's lead there, and make it safe to the homeowners while they're doing that project.
Jeff?
Yeah. Are they still requiring that a study be done on the house? There are people out there, I don't know what they call their business, but they go and they do a lead reading of the houses. And based on that report, they submit that to the state.
They won't be required to do that. That's if you're doing lead paint removal, where they'll go in and they'll do a study, see if you have lead paint, and then that's a whole other process to remove the lead paint. They're just assuming that because the house was built before 1978, there is some sort of lead in there, and they want to make sure that the safety precautions are taken before any remodel is done. They don't want anybody going in there tearing walls down, creating dust, pulling molding off without knowing.
But if somebody was going to have some work on a house, did you say before 1977?
1978.
1978? Would it behoove them to have that done before they decide to do any work? So this way, they'll know that they have lead or they don't have lead?
Well, what's in place before this takes effect is homes with children under the age of 6.
Right, I understand.
Which they have, that's required by law. You gotta go in there and do a lead paint inspection before they can do anything. This will be on everything.
Okay.
Whether there's children or not, they're gonna have to do this before they start the work.
So if someone wants to sell a house
Yeah, they've got to get the
that was
certification.
built before 1978, is there a requirement that they do something?
I know the banks, when you pass, Steve, you might know that, you've
You
got
know,
to
they
sign
they
this
do a home
certificate.
inspection.
There's a lead paint certification now.
Right,
There is?
yeah.
Currently? Okay.
But can they still buy a house with that certification not certification,
With lead paint?
with lead paint? Can somebody buy a house with lead paint because they get a notice at the time of sale? I know that was the
Yeah.
way it was before.
Yeah, I think they can buy it, but there's a disclosure that it's there,
Disclosure,
and
that's
they
what
have
I
to
was
make
wondering.
sure that there aren't gonna be any children under the age of 6 and that sort of a thing.
Right, right.
And the other thing, even if, those people that own investment properties, as far as for rental purposes, they also have to have a certification, and it has to be de-leaded if there are going to be children under a certain
They're
age.
required to
So I'm
rental
just
property, they're
wondering now,
required to de-lead it.
if someone were to come for a permit, and they bring you a certification, whether it be through the closing documents, the bank certifying that there is no lead in the home, or that it was taken care of, or whatever, that would be sufficient?
That would, sure. Then the contractor, if he would bring that in, and that certifies that it's already been done, the home's already been checked, then he could go in and do it without doing all this pre-work.
So then when, if I may, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
the last question again. So then if somebody, for instance, is gonna redo a bathroom or a kitchen, we'll say, and they come to you to get a permit,
Right.
do they have to hire this company to come in and do this?
What they're
Who
doing now
pays
is
for this?
they're training the contractors. They're having courses out there where the actual contractor will train it, and he'll train his employees so that they can do it. So you won't have to hire anybody new. You won't have to bring in a specialized company.
That's what I was
But
wondering.
it will spike up the cost.
It will.
Oh, yeah,
they're talking
sure it
that
will.
It could spike
Sure
up
it
from 500 to 1,500 on a remodel job.
Sure will, yeah.
What if a contractor doesn't learn to do this?
Can't do
He won't get a permit. If he doesn't bring in the certification that they've been trained to do this,
So they have to be trained, they can't hire anybody.
they have to be trained and they have to bring in the certification.
So my question is, how does this increase your workload? If the onus is on the property owner to bring you in the certification. Either they have it or they don't.
Well, if the contractor comes in and he's just proving to us that he's certified, I'm still gonna have to go out to make sure he's done that work before they can actually start the work. So it just creates another inspection.
Right, okay.
When did we drop the hours of the part-time inspector?
It was last July 1st.
So it's in this current year.
Yes, in this current year. up
So
to
in other words,
June
in
30th.
2009, we had that individual working the number of hours, okay. And that's the, how many hours? I know you said it, but I didn't write it
7.
down.
I'm looking for 7, he currently works 10.
10, so you're going to 17, I did get it right, okay. And that's the bulk of the difference in the budget request, which
It is.
looks like about $8,000, you know, give or take a few dollars. It's a little more than that, I guess. 9,000.
7,600.
Yeah, well, but there's some other items in here that are.
$76.36.
Training and education is up 500 over the level funded.
Training and education.
5320.
Yeah, I can live with level funding everything, if I can get that, if I can get those hours back, I'll make it work.
I'll make note of this. Jim is in here begging.
Begging for money. He currently works 2 days a week, Monday and Wednesday. So I'm out of the office for 3 days doing inspections.
Now you do realize that everybody can live with level
Everybody comes in begging
services.
for
You
money.
realize that, right?
I realize that. I want to be on the top of the list.
I should have been here at 7 o'clock.
Good
The,
point.
So you're saying the 68 building lots have been approved by the Community Planning Commission for new dwellings, and typically, you know, so there's an approval, and then people have to get funding, and so on and so forth. Typically, how's that, what's the timeline for?
Yeah, they won't all be built this year.
No, I realize that.
The one up on Marblehead Street, I think it's Bradford, Pond Estates, that's already started. They put the road in. I believe they have 27 lots or something.
Mhm.
I'd say probably maybe 8 or 9 of them will get built this year. It'll probably take 3 years for that to build out.
Mhm.
The townhomes down on Haverhill Street, there's 15 of those. Those will
What's-
get built out. Once they start, those will get built out in a year.
What's the typical timeline for the construction of a house to a point where it's given a building, an occupancy permit?
Depends on the contractor. I've seen them start to finish in 90 days,
Mhm.
when they're under pressure from the banks to close.
I'm asking this basically because I'm thinking about our number that we've used for new growth going into 2011. You know, we're still halfway, you know, only 3/4 of the way through 2010, so.
I mean, you know, if they're under pressure to finish them, they can finish them pretty quick. Nobody's putting up spec houses anymore where they would take their time and then just try to sell it. They're selling
They're
it.
building to the order.
You're right, exactly.
Any other questions? I think
How the
point
rest
has
of your
been
hours,
made
Jim?
about the
As
hours.
far as your support staff, sufficient now, as far as, you know, covering Board of Appeals meetings and all that other stuff, and, you're at adequate staffing level now, as far as support staff? Other than the inspectional service, I mean, in here at Town Hall?
The Board of Appeals secretary, she's 16 hours a week. That seems to be okay. The hearings are down, so I try to keep them down.
Yes,
Quick
Jeff.
question. On the West Village Drive,
Mhm.
you have 7 lots, 1 existing. Does the 1 existing mean 1 built?
There's 2 left on West Village.
So then what's the 1 existing versus the 7 lots?
It was
The last page.
It was the house that was.
Oh, no, I understand that. I mean, I look at it every day. I'm just trying to understand here, it says 7 lots, that's the full size, and there's 1 existing. What does the 1 existing mean?
It was an existing house on it,
Okay, so that means there's 6 lots without an existing house.
exactly.
But
And there's only 2 left
What- And there's only 2 left?
that haven't been built on.
I'm sorry, but I'm confused.
So there was 6, with the 1 existing, there was 6 others.
Right,
4 of them have already been built and have homes on them. There should be 2 left up there that haven't been built on yet.
okay, I guess I just don't understand the 7 versus the 1 here. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but to me, I interpret that the 1 existing has a house on it and 6 don't. That's how I'm interpreting that notation there.
Well, this is what they do when they approve it. When I counted them up to 68, I went through it and I listed the ones that, were built, so I took them out. And I took out, like, Rebecca's Row, there's 1 existing, so I counted that as 2 instead of 3.
But should West Village be 4 houses, 3 existing? Because there's 3 lots that don't have anything on it, and 4 do.
Oh, I see, in real time, but this whole sheet comes from community planning, and they don't update it. This is what they put out from, when they approved the subdivision. They don't update it as to which ones are being built on and which,
Okay, so this is,
so I went through,
Dated-
when I totaled up to 68.
yeah,
it-
it's
it-
dated material. Okay,
I went up and I took out whatever was built.
all right, so does that impact that 68 building lots then?
No, it is 68. If you total it up separately, it should be more than that. If you total
He's
up
saying
their
he's
list.
adjusted what's
He's
left.
adjusted, okay.
So I adjusted for it.
Any other questions?
I do.
Yes.
Jim, under weights and measures, there's a position for a sailor. Who performs that task?
Mel Peck. He's the CLO. He's, I believe he's on, Joe, maybe you can help me out. He's basically a contract employee. He gets no benefits.
Okay, so it is a
Right.
contract position.
Right, he's not on the payroll.
Any other questions? Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Next
Thank you.
on our agenda is health. Anyone here from health?
No, I have an update.
On your health?
Well, seeing you're gonna be here last, we're gonna wait, and we're gonna move on to
No, but I have an
veterans.
update on the health.
Health
If you wanna know, it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
He's-
No,
The director of the health department had surgery.
oh, okay, I'm sorry.
We were trying to get one of the board members to come, but we were, I guess the secretary was unable to reach anybody.
Mhm.
But the health director is going to try to limp in here next week.
Okay.
because he had a
Okay,
hip
I'm sorry.
replacement.
I didn't mean, I thought what you were saying was that you were gonna tell us about the health budget.
Oh, no.
All right.
We have veterans.
Veterans. We have a new
26.
veterans director.
Evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Susan Magner. You're with me, I'm very new at this.
This is your honeymoon.
You have an able-bodied assistant there for the moment.
Yes. I took the liberty of writing this down because otherwise I'd be fumbling, so.
Take your time.
Understandably, and with great respect, the 2001-11 budget for the veterans was proposed based on the FY10 budgets and put forth. However, after reviewing the budget and based on information presented to me through state training